The world woke up to a sound it had hoped to never hear again in Europe, the roar of missiles and tanks crossing borders. Russia had launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, a moment that would reshape global politics, tear apart families, and remind us of the fragility of peace. But how did it begin? To understand, we must go back decades. Ukraine, once part of the Soviet Union, declared independence in 1991. For many Ukrainians, this was more than political freedom. It was the chance to define their own identity, culture, and future. Yet, for Russia, especially under Vladimir Putin, Ukraine was not just a neighbor. It was part of what he called the Russian world, something he believed should never slip from Moscow's influence. The conflict deepened in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea, a move condemned worldwide. Pro-Russian separatists also rose in eastern Ukraine, backed quietly but powerfully by Moscow. From that point, Ukraine's choice became clear: move closer to the west or be pulled back into Russia's orbit. Ukraine leaned toward Europe and NATO, and this, to Putin, was unacceptable. By early 2022, Russian troops had massed along Ukraine's borders. Despite international warnings and diplomatic talks, Putin declared he would demilitarize and denazify Ukraine, a claim widely rejected as false. Underneath those words was fear. Fear of a democratic Ukraine thriving outside Russia's control, fear of a neighbor aligning with the West, and fear of losing influence in what once was Soviet territory. When the invasion began, cities like Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Mariupol were bombarded. Millions fled their homes, creating one of the largest refugee crises in modern history. Yet Ukraine did not collapse. Instead, ordinary citizens took up arms, leaders refused to leave, and the world watched a nation rise with resilience. Now, this piece of hardware behind me, this is called a Newton. It's given to organizations for outstanding contributions to broadcast journalism. It recognizes excellence, accuracy, and clarity in reporting, and these qualities are vital in times of war when information is a weapon. Trust becomes even more important. That's why I'm proud to work for an international news organization. Our reporters have been on the ground in Ukraine from the very beginning, risking their own safety to bring you the truth. They've embedded with Ukrainian forces, documenting the bravery on the front lines. They've interviewed refugees who fled their homes, sharing their stories of loss and resilience. They've even ventured into areas controlled by Russia, bringing back first-hand accounts of the impact of the war. All of this is done not just to inform, but to inspire, to show the world the human cost of this conflict and to challenge the narratives of those who would distort the truth. And this is why this award matters. It's not just recognition for our hard work, although that's nice, it's validation of our purpose. In a world where trust in media is declining, we, at an international news organization, remain committed to bringing you the news without fear or favor. We believe that in a world of sound bites and spin, it's more important than ever to bring you the full story. Because in the end, isn't that what matters most? So when you see this award, remember, it's not just a symbol of our own excellence. It's a reminder of the excellence that exists in Ukraine, in the courage of a nation, in the spirit of a people who refuse to give up their freedom and democracy. As the great Ukrainian poet Taras Shevchenko once wrote, "The truth will shine like the sun." And in Ukraine, that truth is being fought for every day. Thank you for watching this video.